All right, Burai Fighter for the NES. This one is by Kid, who did other kind of cult NES games like Kickmaster and Rekka. And I really, really enjoyed this. I played it on the Ace difficulty, which is the second to hardest difficulty mode. In order to get the hardest, you have to beat it on this mode. And yeah, I find it to be like this really kind of balanced, really nicely thought out shooting game for its time. And it's nice and comfy to play. It's got that console shooter feel. It's not particularly brutal. It gives you a lot of bombs and a lot of resources. For instance, there is a bunch of secrets in the game, one of which I triggered there by shooting that turret up there right as it appeared on screen and then going over the tile that it was sitting on before the screen scrolls horizontally to a certain point. And so that illustrates kind of how finicky the secrets are in this game. I recommend just sort of looking up a YouTube clear or checking my clear out in order to get their locations and triggers, as opposed to trying to find them on your own, or you can just get by without them. You can tell by my clear that they help you clear the game quite a lot, but they're certainly not strictly necessary. But yeah, if you're interested in the game, I would say just kind of learn where they are, because they're pretty fun to trigger and make use of. And you'll see the last one is particularly interesting because it kind of cuts through an entire level to get you right to the boss. So you'll see I have this ring weapon that I'm trying to power up right now. This one pierces through walls, and that's pretty important for this first part of the game. Or at least I found it easiest to beat the boss with this weapon, the first one. I'm bombing when those bombs kind of explode so that all of their shards can turn into those little bomb fragments that I can pick up. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner, there's my bomb bar, which increases by, I believe, eighths until it gets to the end, and then it starts all over, but you get an extend if you fill it all the way up. So I'm actually going to try and not fill it all the way up. I don't remember whether I succeed or not, but you get plenty of extends in this game from other stuff. You don't really need the bomb extends, and it's better to have a full bomb stock to just clear the screen whenever possible. And just a note about bombs, they do not affect bosses, they don't damage bosses at all, and they don't give you iframes, so be really careful. If you bomb, don't just go rushing to the edge of the screen, because if something enters the screen, like even a couple frames after you bomb, you're going to get hit by it. All it does is clear the screen of bullets and smaller enemies. Generally, as the screen goes black in these levels, you can anticipate that the boss is coming. And so this is why the piercing weapon is important in this one. I wouldn't be able to hit these weak spots through the kind of crab shell or spider shell or whatever the hell this thing is. You definitely can't pierce those spinning arms, but with this shot, you can pierce his armor. And without being able to do that, you're just stuck kind of trying to sneak bullets inside very, very tight spaces. But this one, you just kind of circle around. You can use a bomb if you need to clear the bullets out. Every once in a while, he kind of moves quickly, and you have to anticipate when that's going to happen by timing. But other than that, pretty easy boss. And something that I didn't mention is the game has speed up items. I stopped getting speed ups. The second to last speed up in that level is the last speed up that I get until I die and your speed gets reset. So you don't want to go too fast in this game. It's just you'll fly into, just like with any of these old games where you can speed up too fast, you just want to kind of get it to a comfortable level and not go far over that. This is the laser weapon, which is really good. And something I didn't talk about is I have this little satellite rotating around me. This doesn't cancel bullets. I got this in the secret room of the last level, but it does hit enemies, and I don't believe it damages bosses. So I'm going to kind of get tight on the right-hand side of the screen here and drop a couple bombs to get these items down there, and then circle back around before the screen kills me. Don't know if it's entirely worth it to try and do that. It's just two weapon items, and you essentially have to get random ones because you can't time it out. You need to be too fast to time out what you actually want to grab. but I like to do it just because you're slowly building up all of these weapon powers anyway, and so it's not too hard to get back to the one that you want, which in my case, I'm trying to build up laser during this level. You can see the weapon power numbers down at the bottom right, and each one can go to a max of 10 levels, and when you die, the only thing that you lose is the weapon that you have equipped. It's not Gradius syndrome where you're kind of going all the way back down to 0, which is a nice little kind of console concession. You're just losing one weapon power up when you die, and all of your speed and all of your bombs, I should mention. And the bombs build up, if I didn't say it before, by collecting those little red fragments that enemies drop on death. And I believe it's random when they drop them. Okay, so here comes the second secret room. There are 5 secret rooms. You kind of you scoot along that upper part of the ceiling, and then you'll go down into this hole. You get another satellite, and those 1 items are... you get 2 satellite items, actually. I grabbed 2, and then you get 2 extends for this secret room, which is pretty good. And the cool thing about the laser weapon in this game is that it gives you shot limit, kind of point blank ability. The other weapons do not, but this one, if you get really up close to like a wall or an enemy or, you know, a boss, you've got the ability to kind of point blank it really, really quickly, and that's pretty nice to have. You don't have to, you know, utilize auto fire and MAME or whatever to get it. It's just built into this. Okay, so now I've got my laser all powered up, so it shoots in 4 directions. If I'm shooting left, right, up, or down, it shoots diagonal. If I'm shooting diagonal, it shoots left, right, up, or down, which is pretty good. Something to note is that your hitbox is pretty large in this game. It's not terribly big, but there are a few times where I got frustrated by like being hit by something. I think maybe your hitbox isn't that bad, but some of the enemy hitboxes are kind of brutal. So just be careful. You can't get too up and close and personal with these bosses. But you could see right there that I was point blanking the tails and getting damage off on them really, really quickly. And you split that boss up and kill its 3 segments in order to progress. Okay, so this is the first of 2 top-down levels that the game makes you go through. I didn't get to talk about it in time, but you see a map briefly that shows you where this giant base is located that you have to destroy. And, you know, I kind of got the feel of how to read these maps, but it does take a little bit of getting used to. And so if you can't find the base, you're just stuck wandering around these very empty levels with all of these kind of random enemies chasing you and like spawning really quickly from all sides of the screen. Don't love this part of this game. It's like definitely its glaring flaw is just the kind of sloppiness of the design of this particular level and level 6, which is similar but more difficult. I enjoyed learning it, or kind of learning how to get through it at this difficulty mode. It was okay, you know, fun, but compared to how like nice and polished and not cheap the rest of the game is, just all of these random enemy spawns just feel stupid. I mean, it's just a tier below what the rest of the game offers, even though in some cases it can kind of be fun. But you want the R ring weapon to tackle that because you're going to pierce through the walls of the base and be able to get its weak points more quickly. And you'll see at the end of every level, I'm getting 5,000 points per level of my weapon, which gives you a ton of points. And every time you hear the little bling and see the flashing at the end of a level, I'm getting extends, and you can see I'm at 12 right now, which is crazy. I mean, that is way more resources than you really need to clear the game, you might think. But don't think too quickly, because in that aforementioned harder level 6 top down, it can be pretty nasty dealing with the RNG, and you can spend these lives very, very quickly. So So I feel like I've been talking a lot. There is another secret. That one's really easy to find. It's just one satellite, which again makes your little satellite spin faster every item that you get. And then another extend, so I'm up to 13. And my laser is all the way powered up, and my ring has been powered up the whole time as well. Or, I mean, for a little while as well. So that gets me this, like, 3 spread shot. And I don't believe I've taken a death yet. These round enemies with the little, like the circles with the circles on the outside of them, they always give you a weapon item, and they are not killed by bombs. So don't get closed in on by one and then bomb and think you're going to clear it out, because you won't. I've been talking a lot of mechanics and not a lot about just like what I enjoy about the game, so I'll take this opportunity to just briefly heap more praise on it for what I think is, like, again, some really kind of like modern player-friendly design sensibility. You know, you think of an NES game as being extremely brutal, and don't get me wrong, this is a hard game, especially if you're playing it on the difficulty mode that I'm playing it on. But at easy, you know, I think it's like it gives you a bunch of resources, and it's pretty friendly, and it's fun, and I just got good vibes playing it. Nice, comfy, cozy vibes. You know, it's just a lot of bombing, and you can get to dodging, and recovery is really fun if you want to kind of be a bit more challenged. But yeah, I don't know. I just think a lot of it feels quite good for an NES game, is I guess all I'm trying to say, and failing at finding the words for it. Okay, this boss I die at, I think, because these little platforms psych me out every time. So you kind of, they hang out. When you pass under them, you activate them, and they start like cycling over and over from the top of the screen to the bottom. In the meantime, enemies are coming to get you, and then the boss is introduced. And so you just have to kind of focus on activating all these and then dodging them. And what you cannot do is go underneath those ones, which, oh, and another clear I did. I don't know what it is about that part. It just psychs me out. There's nothing that particularly hard about it, but just getting all those platforms going and then dodging them to get under the boss to point blank it gave me trouble there. So now I lost my laser. I lost all my bombs. I'm chaining deaths, and hopefully I can, you know, get out of this with a decent number of lives to still take on stage 6. Recovery is where you start, you know, like I was cruising through the first part of the game with my full powered laser and my full powered ring and stuff. But now that I have to recover, all of a sudden dodging is, you know, way more of a thing. And again, that's part of the balance that I was talking about earlier, that it's not just brutality, it's not just a total cakewalk, it's a nice balance. Like, recovery feels fun in this game, and it gives you the extends to basically give you the flexibility to kind of be able to learn on the fly and like not have to study with save states or, you know, with using the game's passwords, but like in actual runs you're like tackling these recovery points over and over again, and you're learning them, which is fun for a console game especially, I would say, or makes sense in a console environment. Man, I'm just chaining these deaths. Not playing well, but it's okay. All right, we got nine more lives. I don't think I had ever like died here before, so that's kind of why I mentioned that, is because this is me kind of feeling out this recovery point and seeing what the best way to tackle it is, what weapon I want to go into the boss with. I think definitely laser still. That's the one you want for, I think, any boss because of the point blanking ability. But still, you could have, I think there's one more weapon bubble up here, so I could have taken the ring in order to deal with this stuff better. But I didn't. Because it is nice to just like get your lasers start to be built back up for the next level. So I can get 3 lasers here. Okay, activate these so they start falling. Now this is how you deal with it. I think I did it. That's it. Boom, it's not that hard. And I got an extend. Just couldn't make that happen in the first place for some reason. Another extend. Okay, right off the bat in this level, we're getting another secret. Watch out for these flamingos. They've got kind of a lot of health. Got to get up here and get into that little crevice where those two turrets are. Go all the way down and get these enemies taken care of. Don't think I meant to pick that up, but yeah, I meant to get a laser, so I got my laser immediately back. And now go over here and kind of hang out. And if you triggered the right point, it'll scroll to the right, and you get a satellite item and an extend. So we're back up to 12. Again, seems just like a silly number of extends, but you will see that that I need them. I like this stuff. Just the game stressing you out like you're thinking that you did something wrong, but nope, that's just its designed scroll pattern. Ooh, those robots have a ton of health, and there is a section that I skip entirely in the last level where you have a lot of those guys. Just know that they have a shitload of health, and they're difficult to kill. Okay, with my dual direction laser, this is a little easier than, you know, it would be with like a pea shooter, but I'm still gonna drop. Oh no! I shouldn't have gone for that. I did not need that satellite. Oh well. So I lost my dual direction laser, just as I was saying it's nice to have it. Now, okay, chaining deaths as I try and figure out how to... Nope, the flamingo jump. Okay, gotta figure out how to deal with this with a pea shooter, because you cannot switch weapons. You can't switch to, for instance, in this case, my laser, which is powered up. Somehow I switched to ring right before I died, I guess. But no, you have to pick up a weapon item to switch to that weapon. So you're stuck with the pea shooter until you get a weapon bubble here. Okay, here's the game saying, okay, we know that was a tough section. Here's some resources for you. And we know this section is tough coming up. This is neat. Just a fast-scrolling downward tube. The dual laser seemed like a good way to handle that, but it didn't super help me. I'm just grabbing these because they go quickly and I want to start shooting, so I'm not like being super careful about what weapon I grab. Here I'm on Missile, which always shoots to the right if you have it at low power, so you can kind of mimic the two-way laser. It's a good low power weapon, the Missile, for kind of clearing an area like this. But at high power, you want the laser, you want the ring. So having to do some kind of tricky screen control and dodging, and helps to know the enemy behavior of those little jellyfish. They'll kind of slowly float towards you, and then they'll pause for a second, and then they'll attack you way quicker. And so if you know that, you can better kind of anticipate them. I don't think going to the right to get that bubble is worth it. I think it's harder. Maybe not. Just one time I did it and I died, so I just deemed that it was harder and not worth it. It's probably fine, now that I look at it. Oh, no, I had no bombs. Okay, we're dropping a lot of lives. Not great. Had much cleaner runs of this level, but it is interesting, I think, to see a run. Okay, I tried the right this time. Maybe this is where I died and I wrote it off entirely. Yeah, see, because you gotta squeeze through that, and you can't kill all those guns. Okay, I managed it. Oh, no, and then those guys killed me. So, yeah, that's the reason I decided that way wasn't good. Just because that one death. Okay, oh my god. Okay, we got 3 lives left. This is getting serious. This is the second to last, or no, the third to last level. We still have that top-down one that I was saying was so brutal, but as it turns out, maybe I dropped all my lives in this level and I didn't do so badly in that one. Oh my god. Terrible. Point being, I'm using the extends that the game gives me. It's not a cakewalk. Unless you've memorized every little recovery path, which I did not. Okay, using my ring to kind of get through walls, trying to hang out up here is a strategy, and I had one bomb, and I have another one now, so hopefully I use it instead of die. Yep, there we go. And now be careful of these enemies. Oh, those guys are evil, those little chompers. Their movement pattern. Okay, screen's getting black, so you know that the boss is about to come. And in this one you just kind of have to know what to do. You stay to the top of the screen because all of these spikes like that are going to fly past you, and you can avoid them all if you're on the top of the screen and try and kill these jellyfish, because if one gets above the spikes, it'll wreck your... Like, you can deal with it, but it's way difficult. Like, it'll just come right at you, and you won't have any room to dodge it because of the spikes. So again, these spikes alternate where they come out, so note that. And note that these balls have pretty big hitboxes on this guy, but you should only need to dodge them as they come out and in one time if you're point blanking it with laser, and then you're good to go. And hopefully I got an extend here. No, I didn't hear the sound. So what do I have? Couple lives? There's the map. So you have an idea, a rough idea of where the base is, but it's like very rough. I have 2 lives, and now I have 1 life. Oh, and I got a lucky spawn here because the base is right there. It's straight ahead. Okay. You need the R weapon, so I made sure to get that. Every green enemy has a weapon bubble in it, and every green enemy will spawn like every 3 seconds and come at you. And so this is me just desperately trying to get this base cleared with all these random enemies spawning and chasing me, and you can see this run doesn't illustrate how much of a pain point this can be, because I think I'm either going to clear it on this one or on the next one, and I've died here like 10 times before because of just bad luck, or like I just make the wrong decision, because you have to make a bunch of quick dodging decisions as you're kind of leading all of these other enemies around while you're trying to kill this stuff. And yeah, it's just a huge pain. This was very both lucky and skillful that I managed to destroy that on the second try. So good job, me. There's an extend, so we're back up to 1 or 2. We're at 2. And I don't have a very powerful weapon here, but I have practiced this checkpoint, so I sort of know what's up and how to beat it at low power. And I recommend you do the same, because this level has a secret that if you uncover it, you basically skip half the level and go right to the boss. And that's what I'm going to take advantage of here in a bit. Not too much longer. Alright, so it's right up here. I'm going to screw it up 2 times, I think, before I get it. So you got to wait. You got to grab the laser. Nope, and you go immediately back down. You don't stay between the 2 arms. That's dumb. So this is the checkpoint that you spawn at. So with a pea shooter, it's possible too. No problem. Stand those guys. They have a lot of health. Hang back. When laser cycles around again, grab it. Nope, I screwed it up again. I screwed it up again. I made the same mistake. Okay. Just getting psyched out because it's near the end of the game, and I know if I can just get this, that's it. Because you can get basically unlimited extends if you can keep pulling this off. Okay, get the L, hang to the left, dodge down, touch that corner, go up, dodge all that shit, and then if you can get here, you're set. Because the game now gives you 3 extends, and it'll spawn you down where I just spawned every single time you die to this boss. So as long as every 2 tries or 3 tries you can get into this room, you'll get another 3 extends and another, 3 tries at the boss. So basically this is, this is me. I knew I had basically cleared unless I'd played really terribly or had bad luck. And that's a cool little secret, I gotta say. I mean, it's pretty intense to trigger. I have no idea how one would find it if you weren't copying somebody else. It would just be luck, but it really quite helpful. The 4th level is not a ton longer than that, but we probably got about halfway through it, and now we're just trying to kill this last boss. Alright, so my strategy for this is just kind of feeling out how to wrap around these fireballs that he shoots. You just kind of have to feel it out. When he gets too close to the bottom, you want to hug the bottom of the screen. Do not try and do anything other than that. Like right here, hug the bottom of the screen. It might seem obvious, but you might try and go left or something like that, like dodge that out that way. No, you want to stay really close to his mouth at all times. You can tell the hitbox for his mouth is just right in the back of his throat, and it's really hard to hit. Like 90, or I don't know, like 60% of the lasers I'm shooting are not hitting it. That was close. But every once in a while I'm getting like some point blanking off, so. And then this guy has a ton of health. It's crazy. There we go. Alright. Get some more points. Get the good ending of the game. If you beat the game on the lower difficulty modes, there's just a text screen, I want to say, that's like, basically the equivalent of our princesses in another castle sort of deal. And then the game presents you with the ultimate difficulty and loops. So you can start a new difficulty, and you can start with the weapon levels and points and bombs that you have in stock, or that you had in stock when you beat the boss. And so you're not going to see me get very far in ultimate because it's pretty hard, but I'll hang around and talk through it. But this was for all intents and purposes my clear. And there are 10 hidden rooms in the game. As far as I know, there are 5 in Ace, and there's the other 5 are spread through Albatross and Eagle. There's you can only get certain rooms at certain difficulty levels, is what I have discerned from the little information, concrete information that's out there. But if someone knows otherwise, let me know. So here's where it loops. I selected the ultimate. So you can see I have my points remaining, all my weapons are the same, and I guess maybe I don't think I had bombs, so I don't know if it resets you on bombs, but my guess is that you would keep them if you had them at the end of the boss. And I've got 4 lives. And that was just a stupid death. I was just being hasty. Maybe that guy doesn't appear and shoot in the first loop, so I'm not used to it. I don't remember. So oh yeah, so I was trying to see, okay, in the ultimate loop, are the rooms the same, the secrets? So I'm trying to access this secret room, and nope. Just entombed at the edge of the screen. Goodbye. 2 more lives left. Oh, this, okay, alright. So I'm not going to do it this time. Not going to go for the secret. Those little bombs can be pretty evil. They explode outward really fast. I was trying to build up my ring again because that's what, again, that's what works for this this first boss. That guy, I wondered if enemies had more health in the ultimate, but that mid-boss seemed to die in roughly the same amount of time as in Ace, so I don't know. Maybe bosses have more health, but other enemies and mid-bosses stay the same. Not sure. Trying to do that same strategy where I explode the bomb when it explodes to get as many bomb fragments as possible. I was trying that secret. That's a secret room in Albatross or Eagle where you get those bubbles, those weapon bubbles that are up top. You can't get them in Ace, and I tried to get them in Ultimate, and apparently you can't get them in Ultimate either. My suspicion is that you cannot do the secrets in Ultimate because they are such a crutch. They're a large part of why it was, relatively easy for me to get that Ace clear. And so that for the Ultimate difficulty mode, it makes sense that they would just kind of shut that off and say, you got to beat it. You got to beat it legit, dude. All right, we're doing okay so far here. I haven't studied this or anything or looked at replays, but I think this boss is way more aggressive and nasty in Ultimate, which makes sense. I mean, I basically didn't last 5-10 seconds to him in any of these attempts that I played him, and he's trivial in Ace difficulty, so I don't think I was. It could just be part of my mentality when playing this. I was anticipating him to be hard, and so I was getting a little bit in my head about it. But I really don't think so. There's a lot more bullets that he shoots. The bullets are faster, so they're hurting you around way more. And then, I don't know, I think his movement is just a little bit more aggressively targeted at you. You could see how he was closing in on me. So point being that Ultimate difficulty 1cc would probably be no picnic. Certainly not undoable if you really, really love the game, but Ace really feels good for a console experience. I mean, if you have some experience playing these types of games and you want a nice little challenge that's still pretty chill, Ace is great. And if you're a new player, give the easy modes a shot. They might be, pretty perfect. All right, let's see if we can take care of this guy. Yep, that was smart to finally try and use bombs to get these bullets out of here, which I wasn't doing before. Okay, that was it. So yeah, would have to spend some time figuring out the strategy for the spider boss and all of these, all of the rest of Ultimate. But for now, I'm content with the Ace clear. I would highly recommend this game as just a fun one to breeze through, learn it kind of as you play for survival full credits. It's really not super, super difficult and a lot of fun. All right. Thanks, y'all.